So this is a quick overview of the Delta template, which is a multi-portfolio stock tracker. So I've just had put in some random transaction here for the sake of this demo, just to walk through the different functionality of the template. So first of all, in the home screen or the overview screen, we can see the total portfolio value up the top, the gain in dollar amount, and also the gain percentage. And there's also a quick shortcut action to add a transaction in. And a transaction can be added to a portfolio. So in this case, I have two portfolio. These can be anything you want and however many you want as well. The exchange. So for example, let's add the ASX. So the other part or the name of the stock, let's say I'll put in CBA. The volume, let's say I buy one CBA stock at $20. I don't actually know what the purchase price is, and brokerage of $10. Um, and I'll put it in the ComSec portfolio, and we'll go ahead and submit. So that's how you add a transaction. So further down here, you'll see a section called holdings, and this shows you the different holdings that you have. So in this case here, I can see that I have a large Afterpay share, followed by Nvidia, Nine Entertainment, etc., etc. So this is just a quick overview of what kind of stock you hold in your entire portfolio. And next up, you have the portfolio section. So this compares how much of your entire portfolio is in each of the portfolios. So I have, let's say, 17% in my Stake portfolio and 82% in my ComSec portfolio. Next up, we have types. So types can be equity, or the other type that's built in is called ETF. And you can add anything you want as well. It could be anything you want and however many you want. So in this case, I have 100% equity. And next up, we have exchanges. So in this case, I hold 82% in the ASX and 17% in the NASDAQ. The next chart up here is gains. So this shows you a breakdown of where your gains are coming from. So I can see majority of my gains coming from Afterpay, followed by Nine Entertainment and some of the smaller ones. And similarly, we have losses as well. So in this case, I can see the majority of my losses is coming from Nvidia, and the other one is GoPro. So that's the overview page, and this is supposed to give you a very high level overview of all of your holdings that you've entered into the template. And next up, we have portfolio. So portfolio is essentially the same thing, but broken down into each portfolio instead. So as you saw before, I have two different portfolios. And if I click into ComSec, I can see somewhat similar data. So I can see how much money I have in the entire portfolio, what's the gain and what's the gain percentage, and the composition of the portfolio, and the different gains and losses through for the entire portfolio. So I can see here Afterpay has gained a lot, while the other ones has gained a tiny little bit. From here, I can also see the different holding in the portfolio if I want to dive down a little bit more, and it's grouped by the different industries based on the company profile. So let's click on Commonwealth Bank, as we just added before. Here we can see a more detailed view of my holding. So what I bought it at, the current price, current value, gain, what portfolio it's in, etc. And from here, I can also go to the company profile, which we'll go into a little bit later. Go back to the portfolio or view some transaction, which we'll also see later as well. You might have noticed here that there are these icons, and these icons are automatically detected when you add in a website. So you don't actually need to download an image and upload it in. You just need to add a website. So similarly, there are also two other tabs, the industry tab, which you can drill down by different industries, and you can add your own industry category as well. So let's go into technology, and I can see my technology share is split after 4 different stocks. Similarly, I can also see the gains. I can go to the holdings. I can see all the companies in this industry. Similarly with exchanges, I can also see my portfolio according to exchanges, and exchanges are automatically detected from your transaction, so you don't actually have to add or edit anything. It's just picked up every time you add a transaction, as you saw before when I add a new ASX CBA transaction. So similarly, it shows the composition, the gains, and you can also see the holdings of the portfolio that belongs in the ASX exchange, and also all the companies that I've entered that belongs in the ASX exchange. So that's the 4 overview tab that you can quickly click into and see some of the insights and drill down into portfolio, industry, or exchanges. On the tab bar here, we have some of the other ones. So for example, we have transactions. So transaction lists all of your different transactions that you've entered into the app with a calendar view. So you can filter them by the different companies. So for example, I only want to see Commonwealth Bank transactions. You can do that and see here that on Tuesday, 14th of April, I bought 9 units. So I click on there and a few bit more information. So what price I bought it at, how much brokerage I paid, what's the total cost, and also a quick link to the portfolio and the company profile. So here in the company profile, you can see again the logo is up top. You have the type, the industry, the exchange, and the website. And this website is the link that is used to generate this image up here. You can also just edit the company profile and switch an ETF or an equity, and I can change the industry. Let's say I want to classify as a technology company instead, and I want it to be an ETF. I'll press done, and it will be edited there. So type ETF, industry, technology. Um, So that's transaction. You can also quickly add a new transaction, as we've seen before. It's exactly the same layout as the dashboard one. And another thing you can access is holdings. So holdings here is split it down by portfolio. So every portfolio will have a set of holdings. I can see quickly from this page how much holdings I have in each company and what the percentage of the entire portfolio it is. So let's say I click into Afterpay. I can see the same view that I've sold before for the holding. So how much I currently hold, what's the total cost, the gain percentage, and from here I can link to the company profile, the portfolio is in, and also all the transactions been made. Another tab you can access is companies, and this is where a lot of the information from the ad comes from. So when you add a transaction, you can also optionally add a new company, and a company can be an ETF or an equity, and this is a type. So you can change this later in the settings, which I'll show you. And you can add an exchange, a ticker. So the idea is that any exchange and ticker that matches a transaction, it'll be automatically assigned to this company. You can add the name, the website, and select an industry. Again, the website is what is used to generate the logo through an API. So you can add different industries here, different companies here, and you can click into them to view information. You can edit them as you saw before, and you can also filter them by industry as well. So let's say I only want to see real estate and transportation companies, and I can see that in the ASX I have Lendlease and Qantas. So lastly, we have a thing called settings. In settings, we can add and edit some of the different entities in the app. So first up, we have types. So you might have saw this before. Currently, we have two, which is ETF and equity. You can come in here and edit the name and add a new note, or you can just add a new type. So for example, I might create a fund, and I'll be able to create a new company of type trust fund, and that will show up in my composition in the overview page as well. Similarly with industry, these are the built-in industries. You can just add in a new industry if you want to. And portfolio. So right now I have two different portfolios. If I click into them, I can see the same view as I did before of my entire holding broken down by the portfolio. And if I want to add a new portfolio, I can as well. So let's say this is my retirement portfolio. And then I can add new transaction to my retirement portfolio, and then you can see the entire holding broken down by that portfolio instead. And exchanges you can't actually edit here because again it's automatically picked up from your transactions. So these ones here for ASX CBA, the exchanges automatically pick up when you enter in the different exchange. So that's all of the different features. So again, you have the different tabs that allow you to drill down into different aspects of your holdings. So by exchanges, by industries, or by portfolio, or just your entire holding. And you can also optionally go into each of the holding for more information, view each of your transaction for more information, and view all the companies that you've entered in as well, and add and create new ones. And there's also a place in settings for you to customize how extensible the app is by creating new type, new industries, and new portfolios.